Okay, so now we're heading over to the Leomang's area, which we've already been to, so that won't be so hard. It's pretty easy to take out these stalls. Especially with superhero weapons. But I don't have to deal with critical damage in this game. Without keep your health low, unless you use a med kit, which are expensive.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what? Let's heal up real quick.
いらっしゃいませ。
Let's use something with the item drop plus. Let's do that. Beef bowl large. To go even more mellow and to getting more flavorful, unchanging true deliciousness. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing too. Just different sizes.
Starving. Now we're talking. Pretty tasty, thanks.
ありがとうご。
Cool. So that'll help hopefully get better rewards from enemies.
Keep up.
Nouveau riche.
For real?
Snake's takedown is awesome. Does some serious damage to him. That's amazing. How much damage this can do. Nice reversal. Sweet.
Really, guys?
And 100,000 yen. Fantastic.
So, you're Yagami Yaniki? Tessa-san told me to let you in.
Yagami Aniki?
Will you be coming inside?
That means Kuwana's back there. Maybe I should prep before going in. Let's go.
Sure, let me pass.
This way, please.
Say I'm prepped up enough.
Bro, hey man. Welcome back, friends.
Tesso Aniki? Do I have to call you that?
Take a seat. And you too, buddy.
This'll be fun.
And which of your names should we be using for you now? Kuwana? Or do you prefer Kitakata-sensei?
Kitakata's a name that's been all but murdered by society. In Ijincho, I'm just a merry old handyman Kuwana's son.
If you ask the cops, you're the murder suspect, Kitakata. After killing Sawa-sensei, you fled the scene. At least, that's the story the police top brass are passing down through the ranks. Now, why would they say something like that about you?
Calm down, Yagami. How come you never relax?
So Kuwana hired you guys from the start, and you pretended to not know each other in front of me? If that's the case, you really went all out for me.
Didn't I tell you? The Leomang accepts anonymous requests too. Tesso didn't know I was the one who hired him. I suppose there's no point in hiding that now.
That's just how it is. Nothing to get mad over, bro.
You really aren't hiding anything? Did you tell him all you've done?
He's a former high school teacher who's going around killing bullies. Can't be much more to hide than that. Need any more convincing?
Honestly, I'm at a loss. I worked my ass off to get where you are.
And I'm still trying to untangle the mess you've made of it. You've got my student helpers by the throats, so I'm really backed into a corner here.
You mean the graduates from Kurokawa Academy? Like Mamiya-san?
Very good, Sugiura-kun. So how about it? No reason for us to doubt each other's intentions, right? All the secrets are out in the open now.
Fine. Then I'm gonna light up.
You were just over at Komiju, weren't you? RK was looking for me there. The police even lent them a hand.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm even more confused. I give up. Who in the world could be after me? Who has influence over both RK and the police?
Care to venture a guess?
They'd be the uneducated guesses of a handyman. You got any bright ideas yourself, Master Detective?
I haven't confirmed it for sure yet, but I have a pretty good theory for you.
Oh? Who?
I just heard this from Detective Watanabe. The ones looking for Kuwana are... Red Knife, Public Security, Vice Minister Reiko Kusumoto. Vice Minister, of course.
Reiko Kusumoto, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. She's Mitsuru Kusumoto's mother, your student from 13 years ago.
Wait, what?
There's a chance she's the one trying to silence you. And public security is taking orders directly from her.
Public security?
A detective from Kanagawa PD told me. Public security is pinning you as Sawa-sensei's murderer. He was also told to back off RK. If public security is protecting RK, it would explain why they have free reign on Ijincho.
Hey, back up. Why does this Kusumoto lady want to silence Kuwana in the first place?
Kuwana had his former students kidnap Shinya Kawai in Kamurocho 5 years ago. The same guy who pushed her son into jumping off a roof. Kawai was killed after that. Before you killed Kawai, you approached Reiko Kusumoto about the prospect of revenge, didn't you? Ahara told us that. Before taking revenge on a bully, you'd approach the family about it first. Did you make the same offer to Reiko Kusumoto?
What if I did?
She's the Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. She's pretty popular. She's even cleaning up her predecessor's mess. If it were to surface that she agreed to a revenge killing, they'd have yet another massive scandal on their hands. And if you get to go down in cuffs instead of a body bag, that detail may just come out. Before that can happen, Reiko Kusumoto plans to
Have me silenced, and use public security to do it.
Exactly. Except public security can't just go after you, so they subcontracted RK to do the dirty work. That would explain why public security is trying to cover for RK.
I see. Well, the logic starts off soundly enough.
Something wrong with it?
Unfortunately, yes. Something does stick out.
And what's that?
I did, in fact, approach Kusumoto-san 5 years ago about taking revenge on Shinya Kawai. And just as you said, I used Mamiya-kun and the others to kidnap Kawai.
And?
From that point on, Kusumoto-san knew I was directing Mamiya-kun and the others. She'd seen their faces, knew their identities, everything. So, if Kusumoto-san wanted to go after me, Mamiya-kun and the others would be first on the list. But the fact is, public security hasn't laid a finger on them, even now. Which means, Kusumoto-san isn't the one giving them orders.
What? So if Reiko Kusumoto was giving orders to public security, she could have gotten to Kuwana much quicker. Then who would be pulling the strings?
Sure. That makes some sense.
Hey, so sorry if this is off topic, but what was Kusumoto-san doing when Shinya Kawai was killed 5 years back?
She was standing right there with me. Afterwards, she took 3 days of PTO, and that was a first for her.
Why?
Shinya Kawai died at the hands of Kusumoto-san. She drove the knife into his chest personally. She took it slow, making sure he suffered the whole time. Just like Akihiro Ehara, she avenged her son with her own 2 hands. I admire her.
She killed Kawai herself?
Wow. So she did the same thing Ehara did. Essentially, the current Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health committed murder, that's true, she's had to keep that hidden a long time.
Afterward, she told me she'd never wash the smell of his blood off her hands.
Damn, man.
I was the only one who knew that, by the way. The others have no idea. On that day 5 years ago, I sent them straight home after they brought me Kawai. And I was the only one with Kusumoto-san when she killed him.
This sounds way too crazy to be real.
Even so, the fact is, Kusumoto-san hasn't betrayed me. Besides, I doubt the Vice Minister is powerful enough to order public security around.
Then who is giving them their orders?
Well, I'd say your theory's on the right track. I'm sure public security contracted RK. It lines up with what's happened so far. I imagine they're so persistent because they know I can be used against Kusumoto-san.
Either way, whoever's pulling the strings is someone who'll benefit from your capture. So if it isn't Reiko Kusumoto, maybe it's one of her enemies?
An enemy?
Yeah, like someone within the Ministry of Health, or maybe even some kind of political rival. Nothing would be more valuable to them than dirt on Kusumoto, right? They're probably trying to take her down. Or they could threaten and manipulate her as they see fit. Is that why public security's been taking action? If they wanted to take her down, they could have had the police investigate her fair and square.
Whoever's behind RK and public security must be an enemy of Reiko Kusumoto. That seems to be the most logical train of thought.
Right. Kusumoto-san can walk away from the Ministry of Health anytime she wants. Plus, she has the public's support, especially with the younger crowds. All just more reasons for her to have enemies.
I read some article about how even the Prime Minister has a hard time with her. Like, she'll get up in his face every time he signs an order. Dumbass loses so many arguments, he practically works for her now.
So the Prime Minister's trying to find some dirt on Reiko Kusumoto?
He's just an example. Weren't you listening when we said Kusumoto-san has lots of enemies in her position?
Hey, don't be a dick.
So whoever's behind this may have been looking for a weakness in Kusumoto-san for a while. They must have got their start after realizing Ehara's case was really about getting revenge on a bully. That puts Ehara and Reiko Kusumoto in the same boat, being that their only sons were bullying victims. And if they discovered that Kawai also vanished 5 years ago,
Regardless, that wouldn't account for the rest of the incidents where a bully ended up dead. You'd know. You're the one going up and down the whole country killing them off, aren't you? Kawai makes number 7.
7? Damn, man.
it wouldn't take much to connect the dots. It'd lead straight to her. Reiko Kusumoto. Then they'd know that she was among the victims who got her revenge.
Yeah. And then, to Ahara's case. The link between him and Kusumoto is clear as day now if you know what you're looking for. That link is Sawa-sensei. It took me a while, but I connected the two cases together myself. It was RK. She never should have even been on their radar. In fact, they traced your name from her. Sawa-sensei knew. She suspected you were involved with the Mikoshiba murder in one way or another, right? You don't care. You see your killing spree on these former bullies like you're doing the country a service. In your eyes, this is vengeance. Actually, no. You'd call it justice, wouldn't you? Except, Sawa-sensei wouldn't have died if it was.
That was never my intent. She shouldn't have died.
No. You don't get to just brush her off like that. Like an afterthought. You had to have known you'd go down for this eventually. And you're fine if all your old students like Yui Mamiya go down with you. By then, why would you look back at your trail of blood? Why would you clean up all your carnage? It's not your problem, right? You move forward with one purpose. Send as many bullies to hell as you can. Beyond that, you don't give a shit what happens. Sawa-sensei died in tears. You didn't see what I saw. The fear she must have felt was still frozen on her face. You, Ihara, Reiko Kusamoto. You're all murderers. And so far, all of you have gotten away with it. So why did Yoko Sawa end up having to pay the price? Tell me, will you even be able to look her in the eye when you die?
I doubt it. That's gonna follow me well into the afterlife. So what now, then? March to the cops and turn myself in?
You should. If you don't do exactly that, no one will know why she had to die, and that'll be the end of her story. Everyone will keep on dancing around her death, even though she was completely innocent. Just like the cops are doing.
Afraid I can't do that. If I turn myself in now, there's only one thing that happens. Public security takes me out. And worse, Reiko Kusamoto would be compromised. And that, I will never allow to happen. Of all the people involved in this, she deserves to walk free. Her revenge was justified.
You think so?
All she did was scrape off the scum of the earth that pushed her only son into an attempted suicide. She didn't sit around crying about a legal miscarriage. She took justice into her own hands. No one has any right to indict her for that. So don't go there. Nobody lays a finger on her.
Hey, skinny ginger kid. Looks like this is gonna turn into a little more than a chat.
Good thinking.
So is your plan to kill me too? Anyone who interferes with your justice? We all get added to your body count, don't we?
The punishment fits the crime. You're just blind. If you can't see that, then you can go to hell! Stay out of my way!
Sadly not surprised. Thought this would lead into a fight. Yeah, he's got quite a bit of health. Nothing I can't knock down though. Especially getting cornered like this. You can dodge some of this stuff too.
Bring it up!
Nice. Oh, I didn't get thrown down. Yes. Not beating him. Dude. Yes, I don't get taken down. Nice. Let's do a little bit of health though. Just to make sure.
Come get
I think this might do it. Oh, no, it didn't. Just make sure. There we go.
How long has this been going now?
I lost track.
Call it?
Nah. They're gonna tire out eventually. Beating the shit out of each other is the way some people communicate.
I can see that.
There we go. Now let's stop them.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Haven't you had enough yet?
What?
You think it's time to give it a rest?
Hell no. Stay out of our way.
You're not looking so hot.
You got lucky I stopped when I did, you know. I had a move lined up with your name on it.
You're the one who got lucky as far as I'm concerned. I was about to kick your ass.
What a fucking mess, guys.